you ready for your next mission, Chuckles? Ready and willing, Duke. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today, let's take a quick look at the Playmates Toys Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles / Stranger Things, Raphael, Hopper, 11, and Leonardo. This is crazy. Playmates sent out press releases last Friday, just in time for me to fit it into the weekly, and then on Sunday, Playmates emailed and said, hey, we appreciate you covering these on the weekly. Would you like some advanced copies? And I said, let me think. Yes. Of course, I'd like to look at them. And then FedEx dropped them off Tuesday, which is insane too, because there were several things that FedEx was supposed to drop off Tuesday, and this was the only package that I found on the doorstep. Looking at the packages, very clever for a crossover event. It plays into both franchises. There's your Eastman and Laird Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then when you turn them over, they're Stranger Things packages. The sides continue those graphics around to the back. They give a little backstory as to why the Turtles are teaming up with the Stranger Things crew. On the top, Stranger Things, Turtles, Stranger Things. On the bottoms, you have your warnings and your legalese and your barcodes. Let's get these open. The background's kind of nifty, some Stranger Things flavor to it. The clock over on the tree, and then welcome to Hawkins. Starting with, well, let's start with both turtles because they are essentially the same sculpt. It is not reusing any of that old classics body. The new one is very much Mirage inspired. It's got different shapes to the muscles, to the arms, to the limbs, to the feet, to the shell, to the head, everything. A little bit of paint here and there, but most of it's just cast in its base plastic. Got the dark green for the shell with the slashes in places. The yellow for the front shell, again, with a couple of nicks and dings. The dark green plastic with the musculature going down and the limbs and up at the top and down here. And at first I was like, man, those are some big old feet. But practical action figure, you know, your usual, hey, I want to put these on the shelf. I don't want these to fall over. You're not going to have that problem with these. Well, okay, if you go too far, but yeah, there you go. And then there's the darker brown for the elbow pads, the wrist wraps, the knee pads, and the belt. That is a separate piece sitting on top of the shells. Is that a separate piece? I think that's cast in red. Oh, there would be some white paint here and some white paint on the teeth. And this is Raph. I've made sure to keep them separate because between the two figures, the heads are the only difference. And then for 11, they went the cartoony route to fit the same aesthetic as the Turtles. So the clothing, the sculpt, the likeness, everything's been simplified. The pants just has some pockets on the back, a few wrinkles, the seam running down the side. The white shoes have laces. There's a band around the left wrist. And then there's a slight puffiness to the shirt with suspenders going up and over. And this is season 3L, so she has the ponytail, she has some hair hanging down, yellow scrunchy up there. And then the facial features, the eyes, the lips, they're nicely painted now that I get up close. But that, along with the shirt, is where the paint budget for these sets went. And it's going to be the same for Hopper. It just has this very 80s... And there's some silver for the suspenders. Little silver for the button, just one of those things I always appreciate. The hair has a lot more waviness than I expected. It's just, again, it's cartoony, but it's unmistakably 11 because of the costume, and it comes in a box that says Stranger Things. Hopper is also bringing that 80s vibe. Oh man. Again, been animated up with the simplicity of the sculpt. You have the shirt, have the buttons on the front, sleeve rolled up a little bit, wrinkles. Lighter blue to the pants than L, but it's different pants. What do you expect? Again, with the seam running down, there's a boot cut to the bottom of the pants. Man, I miss those. Brown boots. There may be, yeah, there's some lace up in there. But this... oh, man. Yeah, if it wasn't in a Stranger Things box, if you were at a yard sale and found this in a bin, you'd go, Magnum P.I.? But because of the context, because of the box, because I know this is a Stranger Things action figure, look at Hopper. There's some gray to the mustache, a wash to the hair this time around, and the eyes almost, well, I don't know. Do they look kind of photorealish? The focal point is the shirt, and look at the tempo and the paint apps here. The straight lines, the pastel green, the peachy pink, it just works so well. Playmates decided to cut back on the articulation a bit when comparing to the classics figure, but they did keep the double elbows, the double knees, the ball joint up on top. It doesn't look down as much. They wanted to preserve the chin, I guess, but it looks up. Out of the package, Raph's arms are warped at the elbows. They're not as straight as Leo's, but at the same time, Leo looks like he can't put his arms down at his side, whereas Raph is more relaxed. I may fix it, I may not. And yes, design-wise, this version of the Turtles usually have a tail. So if you're in the comments section going, oh, why does Raph have a dick? That's on you. That's not the figure, that's not the design, that's not on me, that's all you. But it is hard not to see that once you have it in your brain. And then for Hopper and 11, yes, very basic articulation. You have some cuts, you have some hinges in places, but the range of motion is a bit limited. There's a cartooniness, and I guess that fits along with the feel of the figures themselves. In fact, if they were going for super articulation in the 80s, I guess this is what it would be, huh? I do have to point out that the paint application for the faces, again, Hopper's has a softness to it. On 11, the lines are very sharp, especially around the eyes. And then there's a wash to Hopper's hair, but not 11's. That would have brought out a lot of detail over here. But at the same time, maybe they were just adding grayness or some age to Hopper. For articulation, both turtles, again, exactly the same. There's a ball joint up at the top of the neck. Can look up, can't quite look down. Some tilt, side to side. Peg coming out to the shoulder, rotates all the way around. Then there's a hinge that goes, oh, wow, way up there. Swivel at the bicep. Double elbow, it has that separate elbow pad piece kind of pinching in the middle, but it gets to about right there. Swivel at the wrist, hinge in and out, which, again, with a weapon holding hand, I prefer up and down. Ball coming out to the hip allows for front kick. Because of the shape, it kind of goes out back. There's some out. Ooh, it needs to go further. It swivels a lot on that ball joint, but there's also a thigh cut below that. Double knee, again, this getting in the middle of it, comes up to about right there. Hinge at the ankle, goes back, goes forward, and then there's rotation below that. I think that's what we saw with the classics too. With 11, there's a ball joint at the top of the neck. Slide up, some down, not bad tilt, left and right. Arm pegs into the torso, rotates all the way around. Hinge that goes up to there. Hinge and swivel at the elbow, doesn't quite make 90. And then back and forth. Swivel at the wrist, hinge in and out. Swivel at the waist. Ball coming out to the hip on a straight peg, comes up to there. Back, out. Oh, better than turtles. Swivel at the thigh. Hinge and swivel at the knee, comes up, about 45. And then that rotates below, which is odd. Foot pegs into the pants leg, then hinges back and forward. And then for Hopper, again, same thing, ball going up into the skull. There's a little up, not much down. Some tilt, left and right. Arm rotates all the way around and then hinges up to there. Swivel at the bicep because the shirt goes across. Hinge and swivel at the elbow, again, doesn't quite go 90. Ooh, Hopper's biceps. Look at those. That also rotates. Swivel at the wrist and then hinge in and out. Again, trigger finger hand. Rotation. Oh, I hadn't done that yet. Swivel at the waist. Ball coming out to the hip allows for this and this, and oh well, that. Cut at the thigh. Hinge and swivel at the knee, again 45. Ankle is pegged up into the leg, and then there is a hinge back and a hinge forward. For accessories, Leonardo comes with 2 swords, brown paint on the handles here, and they even had them bagged up in the package to protect the sheen. There's a grip on the right that goes in very nicely, but then the lefts are sculpted like this. And it's kind of hard to get the second weapon in there. Well, I'm talking about Raph too. You have to kind of find a sweet spot for it to pinch in there. Okay. Well, that's super tight if you get all the way into the grip. But there is a reason for that. There's this Walkman set, has the headphones, the cord running to it, rubbery. The hand is sculpted so it can hold that. But the head is huge. It takes some stretching to get the headphones on. Turtles don't have ears! Did split the plastic there a little bit. But the hand's also sculpted so it can hold this waffle shuriken. Look at this. That's one of the things I was looking forward to most here. May I make a suggestion there? 11 also comes with a backpack. Again, here's the paint apps. There's a black, there's a white. Oh, that's not bad at all. It's not as uncomfortable looking as some other add-on backpacks. She also comes with a walkie-talkie and then the official Stranger Things flashlight. And that goes in the hand. Pretty much perfect. For Raph, of course, he's going to come with a pair of Psy. Again, great grip on the right. Same, well, sculpt for other things for the left. And I was going to say it's a little harder because of the roundness of the Psy grips, but once you press all the way in there. But the Raph set also comes with another set of headphones and Walkman, and then another waffle throwing star. I love these things. Hopper comes with a spiked baseball bat. Some looseness to the grip because of the size of the hand, but if you choke up a bit, oh yeah. There's also an axe with the head painted black. The grip on it's bigger, so it's tight fit. Then there's also a nice pistol sculpt with some silver, some brown. I didn't expect it to be this nice. And you're just a push and a twist away from Hopper laying down the law. And then there's another handy dandy Stranger Things flashlight. Size-wise, the turtles are about 6 3/8, while Hopper is, he's so close to that. And then 11 is about 6 7/8. Since I always picture the turtles being shorter, these do come off as large. In fact, it's essentially people in suits beside actors, if this was realistic. But it's cartoony, so I didn't expect them to be bigger than the old classics, though. And then here's the Playmates more modern rendition. I can't remember which cartoon this was from, but I always like this design. But since we're talking Mirage flavor, here is NECA's version of that, and then one of their... Was this the first video game figure? It's a video game turtle. And then here it is next to a Super 7 TMNT Ultimates turtle. For Hopper and 11, here's my usual comparison with the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series first version of the Stormtrooper and Hasbro's Marvel Legends comic book Black Panther. Bringing the NECA Mirage turtles back in, that looks pretty good. Here they are with some Hasbro G.I. Joe, and then the tried and true Medicom Mafex DC Hush figures. Head sizes different. Yeah. Coming back around because I'm dumb and I forgot all about it, but here are the Bandai America Stranger Things Hopper and Demogorgon. Definite scale difference. And style. Ooh, he's seen some stuff. So at the end of the day, just a couple of neat little sets. They may not be my perfect renditions of either the Turtles or the Stranger Things crew, but coming together like this, in its own style, I don't know, I find it endearing. Before last week, I wasn't even considering an animated style for, Hopper and 11, and here I am going, well, okay, I like having these figures on the shelf. It's something different than what we expect from Bandai America and I guess McFarlane before them. And as far as the Turtles go, I mean, any and all, right? I mean, there are so many different versions of these Turtles out on the market right now in the past 10 years that if you haven't found a version that you like, then, oh man, I don't know what to tell you. This is just a different version that they decided to stick with the Stranger Things characters. And that's what it comes down to. That's the age that we're living in at this moment. There are just so many choices out there. If one thing isn't for you, then there's other things to pick from. Or if you don't have your thing yet, it's on the way. It's gotta be made soon because, just so much plastic flying around. Would I like more articulation? Yeah, but again, I understand that's the aesthetic that Playmates was going for here. Plus, it's Playmates. I mean, they definitely have their style. So yeah, in this bubble of the Playmates TMNT crossover with Stranger Things, I love these, but I can understand how it may not be for everybody. If you enjoyed the review, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. Something I forgot to do, the Walkman and headphones, they're way too big for the human characters. These are meant specifically for the Turtles. You try to put this on Hopper's head, and yeah, that's just crazy big. And then the Walkman itself comes off way too big. I was gonna say VCR, but I think VCRs were bigger than that back in the 80s, right?